but that is some good news. So I feel like there is a light at the end of the tunnel. All we have to do is just, hi friends, thanks for tuning in. This video is going to be about my long COVID update, how I am progressing and recovering, what I'm doing, what's changed, and a really cool update that I found as well from the Reddit MECFS group. So if that's what you'd like to watch, then keep watching, I guess. Oh, be new? That's my little vacuum. First and foremost, I wanted to say thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really appreciate all the comments, suggestions, well wishes. Thank you to everyone that's subscribed, and I feel like you really support me and it makes it feel less lonely recovering with long COVID. I am housebound, so meeting people through YouTube and comments is giving me social exposure, and I love it. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. And if you have any suggestions, comments, or concerns, leave it in the comments below. And yeah, okay, let's get started. So in case you're new and you've never, you don't know about my history, I caught COVID in August of 2023 after kayaking Desolation Sound in BC. It is like a bucket list kayak destination, and it was a 50-kilometer kayak route that I did over 7 days, and I caught COVID on the way back, probably somewhere taking the ferry, somewhere around there, and I started to exhibit COVID symptoms a few days later. I healed from that. It wasn't that bad. I just felt like I had drank alcohol and I felt that hungover the next day. I don't know if you're familiar with that feeling, but that's what it felt like to me. That cleared up and that was fine. I went to school in September, everything was fine. I actually got like an A- on a midterm, on a physics midterm. So I was doing pretty well. And then mid-October comes and everything starts to change. I feel like all of a sudden my body is giving up. I have a lot of brain fog, fatigue, pain, inflammation, insomnia. All of that started in October, mid-October, and then it just kept getting worse. Like the severity kept increasing. I thought, you know what, just keep pushing. It will resolve on its own. So I was taking care of myself, sleeping lots, trying to make up for the insomnia, eating really healthy, drinking lots of water, supplements, vitamins, lots of sun, but it just kept getting worse. I finally was like, that's enough, I can't take it anymore. In March, I had an appointment with a walk-in clinic, and then they referred me to the one long COVID specialist in BC. Actually, I don't know if there's another one, but I was referred to one of them, and I was accepted into their practice in May. So March, April, May, so 2 months of waiting, and once I was accepted in May, this clinic, they provide a lot of classes, informative classes, such as how to deal with this symptom, how to deal with that symptom, what it could be, the science behind this, the science behind that, so I can make more informative decisions. And then I finally got my first one-on-one in August 2024. That's when I saw the actual long COVID specialist face-to-face through Zoom. August 1st, 2024, and after that moment, I was able to start medical treatment. So in between May and August of 2024, I went through all the seminars and I was able to decide what medications I sort of wanted to experiment with, because I was looking at my symptoms, going to the seminars, trying to figure out what was going on myself, aka steering my own bus, and trying to see which medications had the least side effects. What my plan was, I wanted to take the least amount of medications, so I wanted to find the ones that were the most effective. And right away, August 15th, is when I started Guanfacine, 1 milligram. So I had a lot of brain fog to the point where I couldn't read. I couldn't listen to music. For example, in July I went to the beach, and I love the beach because it's so calming and grounding, but people had music around and people were playing with that poi spinning flow toy, and I couldn't even look at that. That was too stimulating for me. My brain couldn't handle anything except for just quiet. And I realized, oh, I'm like overwhelmed. And now it is July 17th, so August, September, October, November, December, January. It's been 5 months now. My results with Guanfacine, I could feel the difference right away, literally the next day. So I took it August 15th at night, like at 9 or something before bed. And the next day I woke up, I felt like a different person. Already I felt that my brain was starting to work again, and I was able to string sentences very slowly, very broken. I was not eloquent. There were still words that I couldn't access in my brain. Like, my brain has a dictionary. So this is how I see it. My brain has a dictionary of words that I know, that I understand, that I use in my lexicon. And I wasn't able to access that file, or whatever you want to call it. But now, as you can see, as you can hear, I am able to put a few words together, and I can formulate my thoughts verbally. I'm a little slow still, but that's okay, because where I am now is way better than before. I would have to say the Guanfacine probably gave me like a 10% improvement. So September 2024, I went back to school. The reason I went back to school is because I am a student, and I actually make money off going to school. And that's how I get my income, is because I can't work right now. I get bursaries and grants from my academic performance. The faculty that I'm in physics. And so I win bursaries and awards sometimes for that too. So that's how I get my income. And I could not afford to not go to school in September. I took 2 classes, and usually in a semester you take anywhere from 3 to 5, and I took 2, and I successfully completed it, but it was I couldn't do anything else. I was just doing the classes, the 2 classes. One was a independent presentation project class, and the other one was an online elective physics that goes towards my degree about climate. So that was really nice. One was do at your own pace, speed, and the other one was presentations, where, we go to these classes, we learn how to give presentations, and then the students give presentations. So we're just watching other people give presentations, so that was really good for my brain recovery. I was able to get through those 2 classes, successfully complete the semester with an A- and a B+. So my GPA has not been impacted negatively, thank goodness. I did win 1 bursary so far, and at the end of January they'll tell me if I win any more. As the months went on, I noticed there was an increase in my cognitive ability. I noticed I was able to remember things more. I was able to absorb information. I was having trouble, like I would read something and it would like literally go in and out of my brain. I wouldn't even know what I was reading. I would have to read it like 4 times. For that one online elective class, it took me like anywhere from 30 minutes to 4 hours to read a chapter, depending on how my brain was that day. So that shows the spread. Usually it takes, we'll say a normal person 30 minutes to an hour, but it took me 4 hours sometimes. But I was like, I have to do this. Like, I can't not do this. Thank goodness I was only taking 2 courses. And yeah, I told my professor, and he was like, why don't you just meet yourself where you are and not try to push yourself too hard. I actually let go of trying to be perfect with my grades, and when the exam time came, I spoke to him and I was like, hey, how can I prepare for the exam? Because I told you, I'm having brain issues. He gave me some strategies about, you can bring 4 sheets of equations, anything that you want, and then I did that, and that was the most helpful tip. I ended up with a B+ in that class, so thank you, professor, for helping me prepare for the final exam. I was going in with 90%, so pretty good. So that is my Guanfacine update. So let's talk about low-dose Naltrexone. That's another medication that I started. I started that November 15th, and I kept it the same days, like 15th, because I want to remember. I even put it in my calendar. Oh yeah, I'm learning how to use a calendar, and I'm getting good at it. Yay! So November 15th is when I started the low-dose Naltrexone, and immediately when I started it, there were onboarding effects, side effects that were not really told to me. So I'm going to tell you, I am a very sensitive person. So I probably should have started my first dose as 0.25, but I started my first dose at 0.5. And that night, because it is suggested to take it at night before bed, my sleep was so disrupted. I should have taken it in the morning because I value sleep. So if you're thinking about taking low-dose naltrexone, you're trying to decide what time, do it in the morning, because it's better to be sleepy all day than to be affected all night and then you can't sleep. Like, having no sleep really makes the long COVID symptoms worse. So the first dose I took, I've never done opiates before, but I have watched Euphoria, and there was one scene where Rue was going through withdrawal with opiates, and that's how I felt. I felt like that. I was like shaking. I had the worst flu, fever. I had the sweats. I was like so swollen, and I was like in the corner and no energy. And nobody, like, I guess they told you could feel like you have the flu, but this was really bad. This was almost like my COVID that I got was not as bad as this onboarding side effects that I got from low-dose naltrexone. But you know what? I was so desperate to see if this medication would work. My doctor said try it for 7 days, and if the side effects don't go away, then it's not the medication for you, but it's totally worth trying. So I actually stayed on with it for 3 days, and then the side effects went away, and I noticed already, even with the onboarding effects, I know people say you don't feel the effects from low-dose naltrexone until later, but I'm a sensitive person, and I felt the inflammation go down almost immediately. And so now it's been November, December, January. 2 months now of low-dose naltrexone. I feel like I now have an additional 10% capacity. So now I have 20% capacity, and I feel like it's really helped because I didn't realize I had a low level fever this whole time. I was always warm, which is not normal for me. I'm a very cold person. I didn't notice that I was running warmer than usual. I always had like a low level fever, and that was because my central nervous system was on. I also was really extremely bloated. If you look back at some of the other videos, for example, when I was in Portland, Oregon, I was so like, because I was inflamed. I was so inflamed, and that was actually before I started taking any of the medications. You can see a difference in my face, and I wish I had like body pictures so I could compare, but I felt like the Michelin Man, and nobody understood what I meant, because I mean, I'm not naked, so people can't look at my body all the time, but I felt really like slow, inflamed. I felt like so swollen. I was really swollen, and now with the LDN, the inflammation has gone down, and I'm not as puffy. I hope that makes sense. So that is what I have been doing. I've added those 2 pharmaceutical medications to my roster, along with a bunch of supplements like PEA, omega-3, ashwagandha, resveratrol, like a whole bunch. I get a minimum of 8.5 to 9.5 hours of sleep according to my Fitbit. So I'm in bed for like 10 hours, which means I don't do anything else. Okay, I'm just doing school. Maybe I'll go for a walk. I don't know what has changed, but I don't need a coffee anymore in the morning. Maybe it's because I'm sleeping 9-10 hours every day, but I don't enjoy coffee in the morning anymore. I used to enjoy it for the flavor. I would even have decaf coffee once in a while. Maybe the LDN is making it so it's not enjoyable. But I don't do that. I just drink teas now, and that's good. I mean, I've been drinking teas for a while. I've been using herbal teas, especially calming ones like chamomile, skullcap, valerian root, hibiscus, anything that's like anti-inflammatory, antioxidant. I've been trying to drink it because why not help your body through herbs, right? I've also reduced exercise because turns out exercise doesn't work for my body the way it used to. What happens with long COVID is when you exercise, the inflammation gets turned up higher, but it doesn't go back down. So your inflammation just keeps going up. And so I found that even though I could run and I was training the couch to 10K, I was halfway through the program, it was just making it worse. The inflammation was like up, up, up. Sometimes it would go down, but it would still be on. It would always be there. It would never be gone. No more toxic people. If it is not rewarding, if the relationship is not rewarding and it is not necessary, don't keep it. During this time, I have very little brain cells and energy. It is expensive. Everything is expensive to me. I can only do like 1 or 2 things in the day. My time is expensive. So I don't have time for people that are emotionally unstable or people that just like need a lot from you. My patience is lower and I'm a little bit more irritable, but that's because I'm in pain. But it made me realize that like I need to have more friends that pour into me, because I pour into a lot of people. And yes, my friend group has dwindled, but the people I have, I really, really, really appreciate them and love them. And I feel like I can contribute a relationship, a partnership with these people. Less screen time has helped. Less social media has helped. I've been reading books for entertainment, and I'm reading a bunch of easy books. My doctor suggested reading books where you can just enjoy the process of reading, which I have been. I'm not really understanding what I'm reading, but I'm practicing so I can see the words. I feel like my brain was originally like this, quite expanded, and a lot of the times I was able to think outside of myself. I was able to always take myself out of things and think critically and creatively. And recently, I feel like with the infection, brain inflammation, I'm going to call it brain damage. I feel like my brain has shrunk or maybe collapsed inwards like that. I know everything is still there. At the worst part of it, I wasn't able to talk very well. I wasn't able to listen. I wasn't able to have bright lights or music. So the fact that I can talk now, I am very happy and grateful to be at this stage. I'm happy to be alive. I even wrote that in my bursary application. I'm just, you know what? I am happy to be alive because I could have died. All of the things I could do with my brain before, we'll say reading, that neural pathway to reading, I feel like has been like crushed and flattened. And what I need to do is I just need to blow up that brain cell again, or that neuron again, so I can use it. What I've been doing is just practicing all the skills that I want to have. I'm trying to make my brain grow. I've been using my left hand a lot more. I used to be ambidextrous. I used to play the piano. So I know I have that capacity to use my left hand. So I've been using it more for lots of things because it's new. It's a difficult thing. I'm hoping that it grows my brain. I'm also doing a lot of brain training games. That has helped. I feel like my memory and attention, problem solving has improved quite a bit. And I had a good friend who suggested the brain training games, and I'm really happy he did because it has made a difference. Yeah, like Sudoku, things like that, they do like all those brain puzzles. They're helping you think analytically, and that's what I need because I'm in a physics major. Yeah, so the lifestyle changes are 10%, so I have like 30% now capacity. Today, I went for trigger point injections for pain. Oh yeah, the pain's really bad. When I have long COVID flare-ups, the pain is so bad I can't even sleep. It's impossible. It's as if the muscles are so tight, like they tighten up. And it just feels like my body wants to snap because it's so tight during that flare-up. How active were you before? And I literally started crying because I was like, I used to bike 60 kilometers literally from my house and back, no problem, for fun. And then I used to run 10K for fun. And I used to swim for fun. And I used to kayak for fun. I used to do like aerial sports like silk hoop and pole for fun. Like I used to be really active. And I used to start my day with a walk, like a 5K walk every day to get forward ambulation, a lot of oxygen to the brain and like sunlight to synchronize all of the hormonal processes. I don't do any of that anymore. It's really hard for me to even walk around campus. But things are getting better. Like I know I'm not there yet, but I can walk around campus now. So that's really nice. Already I'm feeling a little bit of relief in the muscles. I do a lot of stretching. Okay, I do a lot of stretching, I do a lot of baths, foam rolling. I'm doing physio, and I'm even doing cupping, acupuncture, but I still get this pain. Nothing's going away. So hopefully that's a new thing I'm doing. Hopefully that's going to work. What has it taught me? It has taught me, even though it was really devastating to lose my old life, because I feel like I was having so much fun, enjoying that life, and that was my life with all the activities, sports, educational and career opportunities. I am mourning that life, but I'm happy this happened because I'm learning how to slow down. I'm learning how to prioritize, take care of myself. I'm learning how to properly use a calendar and use tools because I can't rely on my brain anymore to remember. I'm using like notes and reminders. They've been really helpful in that aspect. I've also learned to appreciate the small things and just take pleasure in, like, the sun is out, for example, or like, wow, look at those flowers, like see the beauty in the everyday. Slowing down has been good for me. When I've done my school and I'm in a career doing like space R&D or something in aerospace, how am I going to prioritize self-care? So I'm learning self-care now. I'm going to learn those lessons now properly, so that way when I am in a fast-paced career, if my health improves and goes into remission, which I am working towards, I'll be able to enact those new lessons of self-care. I've learned like to pace myself, like how to ask for help a little bit easier because you don't have hyper independence, and I've been trying to heal that. It is a trauma response, so I've been asking for help, and that's been good and very healing to see that it's okay and that people will help me. Okay, I wanted to say, I wrote this down here so I wouldn't forget. To anyone out there dealing with long COVID, I just want to say you are not alone. It can feel isolating and frustrating, but there's a whole community of people who understand, like myself, and that's why I put this video out there, so that way you don't feel isolated and alone. Because, you know, a lot of the times I spend my time at home. Socializing is very tiring. I have to think about a lot of things when we're talking, and I can't do that anymore. I can't do that right now. Oh, and that good news that I found on Reddit, I wanted to tell you, there is a doctor, and he partnered with the University of Utah, and they have made 3 animal models. One is a zebrafish, one is mouse and bacteria, I'm thinking. And they have these 3 animal models, and what they can do is now they're going to be able to test everything, all the supplements in the world, like literally all of them, from, you know, Ayurveda, herbalism, Chinese medicine, all of that, all the herbs, on those 3 models to see if any of them relieve any of the symptoms from CFS. And also they will be testing all the medication available on those 3 models to see if there's any relief. And then they're also going to test a combination of the supplements and the medication together on the models to see if there's any relief at all. I'll post the Instagram post that I saw. It was a screenshot of an Instagram post that I found on Reddit. So I will screenshot the Reddit post that is a screenshot of the Instagram post and put that on my video, so that way you can read exactly what they're doing, who is doing it, because I have trouble remembering things exactly. So you can read about it there and you can see who's doing it. But that is some good news. So I feel like there is a light at the end of the tunnel. All we have to do is just continue self-preservation, pacing, not expecting too much from ourselves right now. I wanted to say, I feel like this virus is brand new. We don't know anything about it. We don't know about the after effects. Don't be hard on yourself. We're just all learning together. One day there will be a cure, and that time will be soon, because there's about like 25% of the population or so that have long COVID. So that's a lot of people, a lot of money, a lot of people being impacted every day. You probably have seen it already. You probably have noticed like a lot of people are driving really aggressively, or people are just, their behavior has changed where their brains have collapsed as well. And I'm just very lucky that I was pushing myself to be very academically strong, that when it collapsed, it didn't collapse so much. I feel like some people don't push themselves to learn, so their brain has collapsed into like the more basic, I don't know, reptilian caveman brain, and I've seen a lot of aggression out there. So I feel like it's affecting more people than we know, and not just the people that have the symptoms. Anyways, that's it. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to my story and my updates. If you have any suggestions or comments, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. I'll keep you updated as I go along with the treatments, and I'll tell you what's working and what has not been working. I'll add the supplement list that I'm taking through Google Doc on the description below, and I'll write what it is and why I've decided to take it. In the meantime, take care of yourselves. I love you guys. Bye.